Hey Mike, how's it going? I've been working on this. I don't know, I'm still roughing it out right now, but it's probably taken like 20 hours so far, maybe. Somewhere around there. There's kind of a few different phases to it. So you have to kind of build the wireframe and the whole stabilization for him. Yeah, I got a post going right up his butt there, but looks painful. Then you just start building on top of him, and I use some Da Vinci clay, or no, sorry, the NSP clay. There's the clay that I use. You gotta make sure it's medium too. Medium's easier to work with. It's not too malleable, but it's basically firm enough that you can carve into it and not get real sticky with it either. So yeah, let's see, show some close up there. So really right now what I'm doing is roughing him in. So you can see basically this tool is probably one of my favorite tools, but I basically just kind of get the shapes that I want, and then I'll start detailing it later on. So I'll start smoothing out all these rough areas in here, and without lighting is horrible, isn't it? There we go. Sorry, just a second. Let me flip this around. There we go. Now I have a little more control over it. So you can see all these areas in here, how rough they are right now. But again, eventually they'll get smoothed out. Once I work with it, you basically dab some water on it, smooth it out, and then once you get it to where you like it, then that becomes a mold, or basically a casing, and you put basically silicone. You build a form around it, and then you can do some like plastic injection molding for it, and basically create some action figures out of it. So I'm not sure who this guy is yet, but I think he's probably, well, you can see his brother in the background there, but he might be some type of Viking. I've been watching too much Game of Thrones lately too. He might be some White Walker or something, who knows, but we'll see. Anyway, that's fun. What's up, Hochi? My brother? Well, I thank you very much. Hopefully it turns out that way in the end. I'll probably mess something up and start all over again, but we'll see. I'm notorious for not finishing projects. I just like to start them and see if I can do them, see if I can finish them. So right now, basically, I'm working on, it's such a long process and it's probably really boring to watch, but I'm kind of working on the details of the muscles in the arm. And it's challenging because it's one thing to draw it in 2D on paper, and then you start adding 3D in clay here, and it's just a whole different realm of perception, I guess, and how muscles work. And they look fine from one angle, and you turn it, and they look horrible from another angle. So it's a lot of turning and a lot of just kind of eyeing it over and working a little bit, and then doing some more, and keep going back and working the same piece until you get what you want. But yeah, I know. Looks painful, doesn't it? I wasn't real sure how else to stabilize him, but I meant to have it go right into the center of his back here, so it's stable, but I missed the mark on it. I got too short a pipe there. So hopefully I'll have some shorts going over him, some trunks, or shawl or something, some kind of cloth going over with a big old thick belt that will eventually cover up the hole in his butt there. And yeah. So yeah, anyway, I've been watching too much Game of Thrones lately, but I haven't seen the last episode, so don't spoil it for me. But that'll probably be some character similar to that style, I guess. So I think the most challenging part on this so far has been the back, and that's kind of why I started detailing that first. There's so many small little muscles, there we go, in the back, that it'll look real goofy if you mess it up, and it's hard to get exactly right. But yeah, it could be the Hulk too. Nice green clay. But anyway, this has been a fun passion of mine lately. I've been just kind of trying to figure it out. This is only the second one I've done, so I haven't done a full production yet. So the next step is basically cutting the arms off, and the torso, and the head, and the legs, and basically dissecting the whole thing, and then creating little frameworks around all those pieces. And then you basically pour a silicone, or I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's kind of like a silicone that you pour in around it, and it encases it. And then you cut those apart halfway through, and then basically you can have mold injections from that, so you can create some comic book characters. So what I eventually want to have with him is a full-size character that I can it's just going to be all white plastic, but then I can start doing like airbrushing on him and start really getting detail with the veins and the skin color and the cloth and all the stuff that goes into that, which is kind of a whole different realm of artistry, I guess. Color is probably one of the most challenging things, I think, but we'll get there when we get there. So probably what I'm going to do with this head is cut it off and then sit on the couch and work on it and get a little more detailed on him. But right now I'm just going to kind of rough them in. Get the jaw line right where I want it. I was thinking about having his mouth open, but then I have to detail some teeth and all the fun stuff to go along with that, and I think for this one I'll probably just keep him with his mouth shut. It definitely looks like he's in action though, so it probably should be open. But so here's the first one I started. This is my little Viking guy. So this guy's pretty ripped. He's got all the, I don't know if you can see, but you can see all the veins coming through his arm. And then even in the cloth, we've got nice texture in the cloth there. I'm not real happy with his abs. They're almost too detailed. It looks kind of goofy, but I might go rework that later. But you can see his back I didn't spend very much time on, and it's still really rough, and I need to come back and get his back figured out. And then still kind of unsure what I'm going to do with his eyes. I need to kind of see what other scenarios I can do with that, but that might come in the actually the end phase where I do the painting and stuff. So yeah, he's kind of a big buff dude. Right there. I need some music. Hey Kenny, how was LA? Looks like you had a pretty fun time there. So yeah, this has kind of been my my little hobby here lately. Kind of working on really trying to figure out muscle structure and everything like that with this guy. The first one I did was very rigid and very straightforward, but this guy is, as you can tell, there's a lot more action to him. And that being said, there's a lot of muscles tend to bend and turn in different ways that you're not used to when they're in motion, and so it was the back is really difficult. And right now I'm still roughing him out, but hopefully when it starts getting more detailed in here, I'll be able to kind of, right now basically I'm just roughing him in. So I'm using this tool. This is one of my favorite tools. It's got the round edge and then the squared off edge. Basically helps me just get some nice texture, get some definition where I want it to. Man, this light is horrible. Let me see if I can fix that. Yeah, so I still got a lot of work on him. He's pretty rough right now. In fact, there's going to be a few more layers of the clay that I'm going to use, but like I was saying before, this is the clay that I'm using. It's NSP and it's medium, and so the medium is probably my favorite to work with, just because I was saying earlier it's not too malleable, and it's hard enough that you can actually get a knife and kind of carve away things and not dig into it too much. So, but you can still kind of bend it as well too. So, as I was saying too earlier, this is Probably a Game of Thrones type of character. Who knows? He's probably too muscular to be a White Walker at this point, but could be a muscular version of Jon Snow if he doesn't die again. I haven't seen the last episode, so I don't know. But anyway, I know it's probably kind of boring to watch this because it's so... I make such little progress every time I come down here, so I just do a little bit each time and kind of chip away at a certain piece. So I've got them all basically frameworked in, and now I'm kind of detailing all the little pieces of like the muscle structure and the veins. And I'm going to start working on the veins soon once I smooth it in. But I still got a long way to go. I bet I probably have another, I don't know, 40 or 50 hours left to work on them. So I just come down here each night and kind of spend a few hours on them and watch Lord of the Rings over and over again in the background. So it's kind of my thing. But anyway, that's it. I'll tune back in soon and show you some more progress later on.